All right, so we're here with Rob Morgan, the quality manager here at Hydratech, and we've had EShop running here for a couple months, and one of the applications within the EShop program that's been pretty powerful tool for what Rob does in his job, and he's going to talk more about that in a minute, is the RGA process. So Rob, tell us, how is that working, and what's the status, and how do you see it going forward?
Well, prior to Catavolt, we utilized ETQ Reliance for our customer returns, and that was cumbersome, and we actually got that mixed up with some of the internal reject process, but it was basically a band-aid for what we were trying to accomplish.
Mm-hmm.
And now we have Catavolt, and that has streamlined the process. We've got a faster way now of generating RGA numbers, just a better process all around. One of my favorite aspects of it is, it's like one-stop shopping. You've got everything that you can reference in one spot, all the way from your intake form. It's getting checked at the door. You can verify part numbers, quantities, and you've got that information that you can take a picture of in Catavolt, whereas we weren't able to do that as easy in ETQ. So that's a big benefit there. We can straighten everything out before we accept it into the shop for that process. Better accountability. I really like this system. I can't say enough about it.
So, question for you: as far as time goes, can you quantify, how much time it would take you previous to the Catavolt solution for the RGA system to go through it? And I understand that there actually were some RGAs that we found while we were here implementing this that have been around for a while, and now they have an RGA number, and now they have a plan to get repaired and to get back to the customer. And is it easy to lose items in the old system, and is this a process that's going to help you so you don't lose the items themselves?
It was. Now with the PO being generated and the items actually received, with that process, we have accountability. And you can, you brought up a good point. You can check status of the item. Real time. You look at the screen, you can see exactly what the status is. So that's priceless. That's cut down a tremendous amount of time where we were having to, locate these items before. What process were they at? Were they in the receiving area? Were they in assembly and test? Was QC evaluating them? So now we know exactly from quick shot at the screen exactly where it's at, so we can go to its location and see the status of it. So reporting wise, that's invaluable.
Good. And then from the status side, one of the things that we added as an enhancement is the notifications. I know that it's just a single notification today that anytime a status changes on the RGA, that was something you and I talked about and you helped us come up with. So what was the thought process behind needing that solution?
Well, prior, again, that was based on emails, and it was very cumbersome. You would have to send an email. If somebody doesn't read the email right away, they don't know the status of it. So with that being an automatic process eventually through Catavolt, that's a great benefit. And again, that correlates with the screenshot on Catavolt when you can look and see where that's at. So that, again, is just another great benefit.
Do you see the value as far as from a customer side? How would you see the value of a system like this? If you had a vendor come in tomorrow, or a customer come in tomorrow, is this something that you would even explain to them that, hey, we have this system, or does it have that kind of an impact? Or
we'll definitely say, we've revised, and we have, we've revised our RGA process, and again, you're able to give the customer a quicker response as to the status of their cylinder. Before, sales may have had to come down to the shop, look around, ask, and that's time when you're walking around. You got to find somebody for 15 minutes, and then you got to dig and find, hey, what is the status on this? And you're looking through manually, through paperwork, trying to find that, or locate it in ETQ again, which was a Band-Aid mixed in with, the true intent of that was for internal scrap and stuff. So it's going to cut down a lot of time and able to provide that status to the customer.
One of the things with the photos for the intake form, is the ability to take that intake form and send it to the customer as a receipt.
Yes.
So when you receive the cylinder, you can then export that form, which has 6 photos of the intake process. When you take a picture of them on the pallet or whatever it is, the value of that as an end user, how do you think that the customers will receive that? You think that'll be a positive for them, or
Definitely a positive. We've had an instance just recently where the customer sends back a cylinder that had a paint issue.
Mhm.
Okay, we receive that and we're able to take a picture of that on that intake form and show that the cylinder actually looks like it was very beat up, and so much the case we couldn't even check the evaluation of the paint because it was scraped up completely, 80% of it. It was rolling around the back of the truck. So with that, we can actually capture that shipping damage prior to and let the customer know, here's what we ran into.
Good.
So great.
Good. As far as any other enhancements or steps other than notifications and us, kind of streamlining that to make it, individual notification for, when it gets to a certain status instead of the group notification. What other improvements could we maybe put together, or what else would be a help to you as far as the RGA process, or is this pretty much going to cover it?
So far, so good. I think it's pretty complete. Working with engineering and then establishing, that customer return, and that's streamlined that process where we don't have to generate, a unique part number for this. It's I'd say off the top of my head, it's probably going to streamline this process by 60%.
Good. Good.
Which is great. It's easier. It's going to be documented, structured, so that anybody can walk in, read the instructions, understand them, and be able to perform it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be up to this, knowledge from one individual.
How do you think this will impact your customer return? Let's say your customer returns average 45 days. What do you think they'll be like going in the future?
Oh, turn time, it's definitely going to help with that. It already has, just because of knowing the status and with the, auto notification, proceeding to the next step.
Mm-hmm.
Invaluable.
Which ultimately is the goal. The goal is to improve customer service,
Exactly.
customer response,
Customer
and customer satisfaction. So that's really kind of what we're doing in a nutshell. Rob, I want to thank you for your time, and appreciate your input on the RGA process.
Thank you, and I appreciate your effort
Thank you, sir.
in implementing this.
No problem.